Alright, so I'm going to talk about Viper. I'm going to talk about how pro teams are playing her, how I think she should be played, and then how you should play her in ranked if you do pick the agent in ranked. So we'll start off with what pro teams are doing. A lot of pro teams are doing like this wall, and I'm not a big fan of it. And then they'll even put their smoke, like some teams are doing the one way up here, which I don't really get because you're doing this wall. I think if you're going to do this, you should just put it here, and you're just playing for yourself on B. But the reason teams are doing this wall is so when they take B, it delays them on the other side of the wall here, and they're scared to run through it. But realistically, what teams attacking should do is they should just flash, and they should just run through the wall. Like, they should just come through the wall. And because if you wait, and this is why Loud only use this for one tournament, and I don't think I've seen them use it again. Teams now know they need to go through it, because what it's made for is flooding out here. So your teammates can come in and they can flood into the site before they've even really started to take back site. But once teams know how to adapt to this, it becomes half useless, to be honest. Another wall they're doing on B, which I seen Giants doing. Is it like this? It's something out like this. And then the guy would just jiggle here. But the problem with this is it's fine. I think he had this smoke. Or was this K-Corp who did this smoke? I think it was these. I think it was Giants. They were doing this, which is fine. And then when they get spotted, they're gonna go like this. And if they're getting split, he can pop the smoke. If it gets the wall, it delays. Then people are gonna rotate in, and they can't come through. But the issue is, again, like, this wall can become kind of useless if the other team come here, like Killjoy, she puts a turret down, she pushes them off jiggle peeking early in the round. He then doesn't have any information, so he's kind of playing this wall blind. Like, he's not going to have any info. Because they don't play a Killjoy, so they've got no Killjoy turret here for information, they have nothing. And he's got to worry about his gas middle, and he has to worry about his gas here without having any information, because he can't just sit here doing this the whole time because he's been pushed off the angle. I like the idea of this, but again, once a team realizes what they're doing, you just have to push them off, and they're kind of fucked. I'm not really seeing anything from teams on A. Like, this is the only wall I've seen, which I like. Which covers A main. Can help you get control, can help you take back control, and then I've missed it slightly here. But, and then it covers mid, so you can take top mid control at the start of the round. But like, if you lose A main, you can pop the wall, you can flash, you can retake it here. I'm pretty sure there's a lineup for this wall. Yeah. This should be it. Yeah. So, they want to take it back, they can take it back. They can get into wine. They can just fall back and it can just act like a normal wall. And they have the wall top mid as well. So I like this wall. I do like this wall. It's the only one that I've liked that isn't like a cheese wall. It's like quite consistent. The way I would be playing defense, like, I think using these walls, like 1 round, maybe 2 rounds, like this one could be good for 1 or 2 rounds. And then your 2 players fall into backside, they delay, and the other team doesn't know how to react. I think that's fine, but I just prefer spread in my utility, so... And this is how I would play it in ranked as well, but doing my wall across like this allows us to potentially retake middle if we need to. It has wall on the choke point with Killjoy set up in here, which I'll go on Valor Plant and show later. And then it also covers A short. Now the only issue is when the only issue with spreading your Viper wall like this is if the B people ask for a wall, then your jet might get walled off. If short asks for a wall, then B might not want the wall putting up, and you might use gas. So you've just got to get good at playing around that as a team. And as a Viper player, you've got to get used to putting it up and down correctly. In ranked, you're going to get a lot of Jets who really get annoyed about this wall. To be honest, Jets in ranked, if they're just sitting here the whole fucking time and they're not doing anything else, I mean, I would love to just call them shit, but I don't think we're allowed to do that. Because they shouldn't just be sitting mid the whole round. And I would have the smoke here. So I'd have like this setup. And then you would have your Killjoy on B. You've got Viper here. And then you can have... Or you can even have your Viper playing tree. So he can do this wall for himself. He can just chill and listen. If he needs to molly this for the Omen, so to help your Omen and delay, he can molly. He can fast rotate, and he can have molly lineups that land lane, which I have no idea how to do. Because the thoughts just only come in my head. Probably just aim at this. Go up from this to there. Something along those. I'm sure if you wanted to play it, you would find them. Another way to play it would be to play B again. This wall, not the worst. If you know they're not pressuring B main, you can come do this. And then you can throw your smoke for A, which I'll show you in a sec. But I think this wall is okay as well. Again, if you want to spread your utility. This wall is terrible, do not do this wall. It didn't go where I wanted to. I didn't aim high enough. I just think a lot of teams are scared to put the cover on middle because you could lose control if you do have your player here. But if you play around the wall's only going to be like this area. So your Jet can come in front with a dash as well. To throw your smoke on main, at the start of the round, you just come here. If you're going to play B, you can come here, line into this, and you put your smoke animation here. This. And then you just run to B after throwing it, and you can set up on B however you want. But I'm definitely more of a fan of Viper being around this area, or the A anchor, and your Omen can play in this area, because I think having... You can do Sky, you can do Silver. Sky's probably better, actually. You can also have like this, I guess. You can get your Jet on main control. There's a lot you can do. But I think having like something along these lines, however you want to put your mollies, you can do double lane setup. But then you've got your wall that comes across, and they have to come through this wall. They take damage from the wall, in theory. Then they take that vulnerable from alarm bot, and then they have to deal with mollies, and then people shooting from spawn, spamming from spawn. Also, obviously, the other thing is that it's good for having everything on the chokes is when the other team pressure, you pop your smoke. When this smoke dies, you put another smoke in here. Then when this smoke dies, this smoke comes back up. And then when this smoke dies, you put molly, and you just have a lot of delay where these then have to commit. Okay, well I'm gonna dash through, and these have to decide that they're gonna be stuck. I will run through, take vulnerability. If you can get your timing down on everything, it's really hard for them to stop, especially in ranked. In ranked, people don't know how to deal with this. In a team game, at lower levels, you're gonna get away with doing this. In higher levels, they're probably going to know how to burn your gas out. Well, they should. I mean, I've been watching teams and they don't really know how to play against Viper, which is why this probably would still work. So if you are playing against it, you should be pressure in B, pressure in A, like not like super pressure where you're going to fight, but enough to make them be like, oh, I need your wall, and he's like, oh, okay, I need to pop wall. Then he's like, I need to pop smoke. Then I've got no gas, and you're baiting out the utility, and then you've got timing to go. That's how I like to play the defense. I like to spread my util on every single map I play with Viper. Like a lot of people, they come up with like one ways. It's just not how I like to do it. I personally think just timing is essential on Viper. Like listening to comms, looking at your radar. Like in ranked, it's looking at your radar. You've got to look at your radar quite a lot, and you've got to figure out where's getting pressured and where do I need to smoke up. Then like just timing. So okay, I know that's dropping. By this time, my jet could have rotated off middle. My jet's going to be set up here as the smoke's about to die. So he's got control of main. I don't have to do anything other than look here and look at my radar and think about these two spots and whether I need to rotate, because my jet's not going to move. My jet's now not going to move when she's come over. She's going to sit in this area for the most part, and I have to be the person who's going to rotate. If the alarm bot's dead, I need to jump spot. And then again, I need to get ready to pop things for them and rotate in. So it's all about timing for me on Viper. The ult setup I used to do, but it's kind of hard because of the coming out of the ult and the nerf that they put on it. But I used to do this. This is the ult I used to do. So it would come here, it would give me space to fall back, come in this area. Obviously, I could hold this. I could have a teammate. I used to have a teammate hold this. So we would do like a 2A setup, and we would put 3 people around B, like, and it would never have to rotate because we would be so secure here with a teammate in this, and I would be able to just do this the whole time. I would be able to just hold this, and the chances of me getting timed are so slim. But now, because it takes so long for your fuel to go up on the top of the screen, like it's gonna die. So I could just do this a lot, and then go back in, pop the smoke. Then they're probably not gonna walk through the smoke while I'm in the ult. Drop my smoke, come back out, hold the angle, go back in. But now, I haven't had chance to play around with how I would do it now. But I think I would have to hold this. I think your Viper would just have to play here, and you might actually have to change the ult slightly so it goes deeper into wine. So you might have to do like this, so you can play for yourself a little bit now. It's either that, so you can play for yourself a little bit. You've got fallback here, you've got fallback here, or you go really aggressive with it. And you do it super aggro, and you walk up and you play in it. But with the new ult, there's just so many different ways to do it, but you have to play in it yourself now. On attack side, so I'm seeing teams do this smoke, which I really like. This is something I never used to do. My teams never used to do this smoke. Wait. Again, smoke here. And then you can just have an omen smoke on short, and then you've got mid control by just using one omen smoke, and you can drop this and bring it up whenever you want. If you want to work into a split, sky flash through it, take this, pick it back up. You can then throw it deeper if you want to split. If you want to just put pressure, you want to come up, you want to break the door, you can go back, you can cat split, it makes it look like it's a B split. And you still have your 2 omen smokes to play with, because the other one would have recharged by the time you're ready to hit. I seen K Corp throwing this smoke, and it's not good. Don't do this. If you want to have pressure and you're playing double controller and you want to have pressure on here, what V1 were doing is they were just doing this wall. So if they want to hit A, they have a wall for door. And if they just wanna, like, they think this guy has the line, they just do this, they come in, they can hold here, they can drop, they can double peek. That's how they would do it, which is better than what K-Corp were doing. I would rather do that. V1 would throw a smoke from here, and I don't know the smoke, but they would throw the smoke and it would land in middle. So they would have the wall on A and they would have the smoke here. I think the absolute best setup, I think, is if you're against Killjoy, is to do this smoke on middle, and then to do this wall. I don't know if they do that or that. I think it's this. And what this wall will do is it will cut out the information of the turret being up here. And it'll cut out the information of the turret for here. So it can't see mid and it can't see main. So against Killjoy, this is the best turret. That means the Killjoy then has to move his turret and he has to either play his turret here or put it in a random spot here. It also denies the info here, so having it aggressive doesn't make any sense because they can mush wall. And if they want, they can just walk behind it. And then they can drop. And they can just break the turret. So they can even just do this. Ping, wall up, and then just, and the turret's out. The turret's gone. The best turrets, it's this, 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 and this. This one sees main and sees mid. So when they're doing this Viper wall, the only one you can really do is this. But I would consider playing my Killjoy A the majority of the rounds if I'm against a Viper and he's doing this wall. He's just going to get more value towards A, and then you guys can try and deal with the B aggression. Like wait for the wall to time out, get your jet, maybe your jet even comes through the wall with a silver dart up here. And your jet gets the line. Coming out A, I'm not going to show the lineups because I have forgot them and I have not refreshed my memory. But when you're doing an A, I know version 1 weren't doing this, but if you're going to do an A exec and your Viper's here, you might as well... Holy shit, I'm nearly insane. You might as well molly here. So they can't run out, or they second guess running out. And if you want, you can molly here, but I would just use this one. I'm not scared of this run out. I'm never scared of this run out. Unless they're full flooding, and it's like 2-3 people running out. I'm not really scared of this one. But if your Viper's not going to play for post plant and she or he is going to run into site, then you can just throw this one over the roof and you can throw this one and you can just come out and you can play with your team. And I think if you want to ult, the best ult you're going to be able to... Actually, I've seen a really, really good ult. There's something like this. Just sit here, make sure your Killjoy turret or alarm bot is behind you, and you just let your teammates use your ult, and it covers the spike as well. If you take A and you want to ult, B sorry, sometimes your hand is forced and you might have to ult in sight. If you do, always just like cover the one part, like don't do this. Because there's too many ways they can come in behind the ult and like get you in and behind. Probably want to be doing like this. And then just tell your teammates to focus on lane, and you can just focus on CT and stairs. By the time they come through, they're already taking a lot of damage. If they're running, you hear them, you drop a molly, they have to run for your molly. They can't really do anything. If they walk, then they're going to be so low by the time they get here. You can just play with shorty. Honestly, I think that's kind of it. Like, just keep my biggest tip is just keep everything simple. It was the same on Haven. It was just keep everything simple. I do think Viper's good on this map, but I still don't think she's ideal. I still think the best comp is the basic comp that everyone runs, and they run it for a reason. We're not seeing much success with the Viper on Haven from teams. I don't know if it's because they're not keeping it simple and they are trying to do different things. I also think solo Viper with no With no other controller, it's bad. So in ranked, you can't do that. In a team environment, I think solo Viper with no Killjoy is also pretty bad. Doable, but still pretty bad. What do you say? I feel like Viper can work as a surprise pick if you come with something new. Yeah, I mean, it's the same with everything. Do you need to go aggressive on defense or play passive? Don't play aggressive. If you're running Killjoy holding this site, you're running Viper holding this site, then there's no need to really go aggressive. Like, obviously, you can have different setups and you don't do this all the time, where maybe you play your Killjoy over here, you play your Viper here, your Omen one ways, these two play around this area, and then you have your Jet get set up on the B line. Like, things like this can work. But for the most part, if you're just doing basic Killjoy on one side, Viper on the other side, you should be playing passive. Thank you, whoever tuned in for the live stream. So it was only like 50 minutes, but thank you for being here. Take it easy. Peace.